my beautiful, beautiful soul family, my beautiful collective, everyone out there that is watching this video. I am Eliza. I am from You're the Magic, and I am here to tap in and to receive information for your greatest path moving forward, okay? And to ultimately teach you, show you through the channeling that I get that you are the magic. You don't need to look for it outside of yourself. It's all in here, all right? So, to move forward from that, this is going to be a bit heavy for some of you because this is all about embracing your darkness. And as I was saying that, I almost felt so many of you looking back on your past at all of the horrible things that had happened and being like, oh, no, I don't want to embrace that kind of stuff. Like, you know, that it's too much, it's too painful, it hurts, you know, blah, 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 blah. But it's not about the circumstance, right? It's not about the circumstance that happened. It's about the essence that comes from it. So it's not about the decision that you made in that moment, all right? It's not about what's reflected in the material world, all right? It's about the essence of it. You need to look deeper within those choices, yeah? Because that is where the lesson is. You need to look at the energy of it. What was that teaching you? It may not have been a good decision to have made at the time that you made it. But looking back at it now, see what you've gained from that. See what you've learnt not only about yourself, but about those around you, right? Where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and where you can build on that to become a bigger, better, more aligned person, right? The Adam Kadmon, yeah? The ultimate, the perfected human being, right? That is our goal, right? For most of us, right? That should be the goal, is to become the Adam Kadmon in this lifetime, right? The perfected human, which is fully enlightened in your physical being, right? And that means embracing all facets of life, which include light and dark. But it's not like embracing darkness as in, you know, you're going to the demons to make them do stuff for you and make people do stuff for you and using it for evil, right? Using it for bad, using it for negative things, right? You're embracing the darkness and you're embracing the lessons that they give you, right? And if you're someone like me who has had encounters and who has, not to the level of being like fully possessed, but being like haunted by demonic entities on a regular basis, this was in the past. When you're someone who has been through that, it can be fearful to want to face that again. But you need to look at it in the way, and I'm hearing the gym, right? So this might be a really relevant analogy or metaphor or whatever you call it for some of you. And that is to look at these times when you were being oppressed and all that kind of stuff by all of these entities and all that kind of stuff. And look at it as if it is your gym instructor who's there, who's yelling, who's screaming, who's telling you to do one more set or like 3 more reps when, you know, you're so close to passing out, right? Want to vomit, all of that kind of stuff, which there are coaches out there that they go pretty hard out. I've seen quite a few people throwing up from, you know, intense workout sessions. But it's the same thing, all right? So in that moment, it feels like they're there to just absolutely punish you. But when you're finished and when you look back on that session and you look back and you look at the progress that you've made and how far you've come and the lessons that you've learned, it becomes a positive experience, right? Even though the circumstance itself right? Talking about the demonic realm, even though that experience itself may not have felt or been positive at the time, because obviously, you know, it can be pretty horrific, some of the things that happen, right? But when you look back at it, it's about the essence, it's about the lesson, it's about reading between the lines. It's not this or that, wrong or right, light or dark, right? Good or bad. It's about walking between them, through them, flowing one side to the other. You learn your lessons here, you learn your lessons there. You take a little bit from the light and you shine it into the darkness. You take a little bit from the darkness and you learn how to incorporate it into the light and to become this fully evolved being, all right? And now I'm seeing the yin yang symbol, all right? Because when you look at it, it's not two halves. It's a circle, but it's not two halves, because when you look at the line, it's curved, right? It's like it's its own, they're their two own separate energies, all right? The black energy and the white energy together to make like a grand whole. And the light has a little bit of the darkness in it, and the darkness has a little bit of the light in it. Because without light, you would be consumed by darkness, and without darkness, you would be blinded by the light, right? So it's not about doing this or that, being wrong or right, being light or dark. It's about integrating the both together, right? To become a fully integrated being. No fear, no ego, all right? Because that's the thing as well, when you live to, and you see this with like a lot of spiritual teachers and stuff like that, when they live so much in the light, you get that spiritual ego where they automatically have this grandiose sense of self, and they put themselves above others because of all the good that they do, right? But they're missing the lessons that come with walking the path of darkness as well. And like I said, this isn't about good or evil, right? And that good or evil as well also is different for every person, right? And I know that sounds weird, and there are some collective things that are seen as evil and are seen as good. But for your own personal perspective, for your own personal journey, it's going to be different for everyone. All right, one thing that may be good for someone on their path moving forward might not be good for you, or at the same time. You know, someone, might have worked really hard for 2 years or whatever, and now they want to take a 6-month break and they want to go on holidays, they want to forget about work, they just want to let their business run itself for a while or whatever. Whatever they want to do, but they're taking a break. But at that particular time, you taking a break may mean that you miss particular opportunities. All right, may miss a particular time in whatever it is that you're doing for your business to grow and to expand. So you have to work throughout that. So you have to grind throughout that period of time. So what's good for you in that time is not the same as what's good for that other person at that time. And it's the same with evil. So evil is anything that prevents you from moving forward, that prevents you from growing. And now I'm hearing the ego and that as well. So this is bringing the ego into it too. So the ego is something that steers you away from pain. And your soul, your spirit, steers you towards growth, towards evolution, right? Because our spirit, our soul, is a reflection of the universe and vice versa. And what's the universe doing? It's ever expanding, right? And so sometimes we may need to face a circumstance or an experience that at the time seems negative, that seems evil, but in the long run is good for us. It's all to do with your perception, right? Release the fear, release the ego, and follow what's good for your soul, for your spirit, for your path moving forward. All right, and don't be afraid to face the darkness, because, you know, many of my great lessons have come through those negative experiences. And one day I will get into that, and I may share some more about the things that I've experienced in regards to, like, you know, the demonic hauntings and stuff like that. And other things that have happened in life too. It's been a fucking roller coaster. You could literally make a movie out of my life. It's funny, but yeah. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, so it's about that integration, coming together. All right, your perception, how you view the world. That is what's going to help you move forward in life. And now Spirit's showing me the analogy of a car crash, all right? So you've got two separate people. They're in a massive car crash, right? Whether they're in the same car crash, two separate car crashes, whatever it is, but they both break their backs. One of them, you know, they both go to the doctor, they need the same surgery, they need all the same kind of stuff, right? It's the exact same break and everything. One of them gets addicted to the pain medication, goes downhill, falls into that victim mentality, you know, loses their job, everything like that, struggles to get off of disability and find their way in the world again. Whereas the other person sees it as a challenge, right? They still take the medication, but they don't let it take hold of their mind, all right? Because they're still hopeful. They still have this light within them, right? The accident didn't create a void within them that they feel like they need to fill. So instead, they create a fundraiser. They start, I don't know, they work their way up to a point where they can use one of those wheelchair bicycles or whatever it is, and they start doing like this really long stint around the country or something like that, and they raise money and funds and, you know, awareness for, you know, whatever it is, for like car accidents or I don't know, whatever it is, right? But that's not the point. The point is, it's the mentality, it's the perception, it's how you deal with the things that life throws at you, whether it's something that's positive or whether it's something that's negative. Because again, something that's positive, I mean, you look at a lot of these lotto winners and stuff, right? They get multi-million dollars, and then what? 2 to 5 years later or something, they're broke again. But they haven't been working for that long that, you know, they've lost their place in the workforce and now they're struggling to get a job, and, you know, they're having to sell the houses and stuff like that. And they're only, you know, halfway through their physical life. So something positive can end up being something negative. And something negative can end up being something positive, depending on how you deal with the situation. It all depends on your perception of it. So if you look at the darkness as something that's to be feared and, you know, to never step foot in and to shy away from it and all of that kind of stuff, right? Something that's going to hurt you, then that's what's going to happen as well. Because the universe is loving unconditionally. It provides unconditionally. And we create with our thoughts. We create with the way we think, right? So if you're thinking negative things are going to happen, God, the universe, is like, okay, ta-da, on a silver plate for you, right? But if you're thinking positive, especially when it's through a time period where something bad is happening, something that seems bad is happening, right? The amount of positivity that comes from that, right? And my heart is feeling so full right now, because to shine light into darkness, right? So walking a path, something negative happens, you're automatically thrown into darkness, but you're like, nah, I'm going to keep going forward. No matter what happens, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue this, no matter how much it hurts, blah, 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 blah. You take that light and you shine it into those dark places. Woo! The amount of blessings you will eventually get from that is phenomenal. And I'm feeling like my heart space is so damn open at the moment, right? Because, you know, you're doing this, right? No matter what level you're doing this at, or whether you're just realizing this, right? This is what's coming for you. There's a shift that's happening for you because of everything that you've been through. It's a beautiful, beautiful, magical time. Oh, and then I just heard polarity. So again, this is one of the 7 Hermetic principles, right, which govern the laws of the universe, right? And one of them is polarity, right? So everything has its poles, everything has its opposite, right? Which means in life that what you experience on a low, like a negative experience, the depths that you've crawled through, the pits that you've crawled through, the darkness that you have faced, do not let that hold you back. Do not let that make you feel ashamed or fearful or awkward in any way, or unworthy for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's, you know, something great on a career level, or, you know, a great love, you know, that soulmate kind of love that you're wanting to attract, right? Don't let your past stop you from experiencing that or make you feel unworthy of that. Because with the law of polarity, you experience that equal opposite, which means the deeper, the darker feelings that you have experienced, you have the capacity to experience that on the opposite end of the spectrum. So if you're someone who's like me, who in the past have really felt deep, dark emotions and have attempted to make certain choices, you know, have really stared death in the face, all that means is that you have that great of a capacity to experience life. When you are that prepared to face the darkness, means that you house your being, your body has the capacity to hold that equal opposite, that life force, that joy, that happiness, all of those positive emotions on that opposite end of the spectrum. You have the capacity to experience that. And that's what makes this journey so exhilarating. For me, anyway, I find it so exhilarating. So fall in love with the journey, not the destination. Because no matter how dark, how deep you have been, the bottom of the depths, right, is your journey back up. Now, it may not be straight up like this. You may, you know, do these ones, but no matter what, you're going up. Like they say, timeline isn't linear. It's a spiral. It's a spiral up, right? So you may come back around to certain lessons, right? But as you do it, you're doing it from a higher perspective. You're seeing it from a different point of view. You're able to see the other lessons and stuff that you weren't able to see while you were in it, so that you can take that information and help build your path moving forward even stronger, yeah? So it's not about being fearful of the darkness or even being fearful of the light, because some people, they fear the light because they feel like they're not worthy. And that's being too far in the darkness. That's wandering lost in the darkness for too long. But no matter what, it's the yin and yang. You've always got that essence, that opposite essence within you. Darkness has the light, and the light has the darkness, right? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. You just have to fucking deal with it, all right? Okay. It's 20 minutes now, so I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah. I'm just so excited because there's so much. I don't know what's happening, but I can fucking feel it, and it feels amazing. Like, it feels like everything, all the stars are almost aligned. We're just waiting for one little like boop to fall into place, and then it's like I said in one of my previous arrows, it's like, you know, the archer has been pulling back the bow, and now it's like that last star's going to align. The bow's going to be released, and we're going to be like, whoop-hoo! flying through the sky, accomplishing everything we've ever accomplished. All right, okay. Before I keep going, and before I get too excited and everything, I just feel so giddy at the moment. Okay, I'm going. I love you. You've got this. Bye-bye.